Yeah, so I founded what I came to call the Entrepreneurship about, it was probably over 7 years ago now, because I really wanted to revolutionise the world and change the way things are done. I just hate this whole corporate sort of mentality that everyone thinks they have to go to high school, get the best marks, go to university, get a job with a corporate and work for 50 years, doing stuff that often can be quite soulless, working on a computer as a middle management position. So I wanted to change that, and when I started to use that whole movement and revolution, people were really turned off. So I started to change my tact and said, okay, it doesn't need to be like that. We don't need to throw out everything we hold dear. It's about building on what we've done in the past. And a renaissance is exactly that. It's a revival or rebirth of learnings from the past, essentially. And so I did a lot of study around the 15th century Italian Renaissance and realised that some of the things that really inspired that movement, which really we've got to thank for the lifestyle that we have today, all centred around, first of all, the Medici family started a little school for emerging artisans. And so they had people like Michelangelo and Da Vinci and Botticelli and those type of people attend this school from as young as the 6 years of age. And that's really what helped Florence become such a centre for artistic talent. And then it spread to the rest of Europe and then it spread to the rest of the world. And I thought, how do we do that on a scale in this 21st century? And I saw that the entrepreneurs are the modern day creators of something that can be quite amazing. But how do we not only get them to create something, but how do we get them to do it for a purpose that has a higher purpose, I guess. And that's really what all of the initiatives that I'm working on around that. It's all about getting more people into business, more people successful at business, and finally more people using business for good rather than just for serving themselves. Yeah, I think Australia has a long way to come in relation to entrepreneurship. There's been certainly a lot of bad press about the Scaseys and the Bondys and the Elliots, and I think that was 20 years ago. That legacy is still left today, that people have really got a bad taste in their mouth about entrepreneurship. And one of the things that I wanted to change was how do we get people to see the benefits of what entrepreneurs can do. And I think there's a lot of, whilst you mainly hear about the bad stories of entrepreneurship, there is some amazing stories of companies that have been built by entrepreneurs that have gone on to make amazing change in the world. So, I think it's emerging. The universities are getting involved in entrepreneurship now. Corporates are realising they need to have some more entrepreneurship within their company, and even they're starting to collaborate with smaller businesses. It's not, well, we're a big corporate, we don't need the small businesses. I think they're recognising that they're the ones that are going to help them innovate and future-proof their businesses. One of the missing gaps, I guess, in the Australian marketplace is the funding side for entrepreneurs. It's still a really deserted market, really, in order to fund startups particularly. So I'd like to see that change over time, and whether that's government involvement or major financial institutions involvement, or it is the traditional venture capital market that starts to get involved in a bigger way. I guess there's this mentality that entrepreneurship can't be trained. That's what's drummed into us all the time. You've got to be born an entrepreneur. It can't be taught. And unfortunately, the fact that only 20% of businesses survive more than 5 years, I think it's a little bit of a miserable statistic we need to change. The only way we're going to be able to change that is if we start to teach entrepreneurship. So, probably nearly 10 years ago, I sat down and thought, what is the essence of entrepreneurship that could be taught? And you think, there's marketing and there's finance and there's HR and there's leadership and, IT and innovation, and there's so many different aspects that go into it. It's really quite overwhelming, and it's no wonder that entrepreneurs don't go out there and go, I'm going to be spending 10 years studying all these things. But it took me a while to realise that embedded in each of these areas is one fundamental thing more than anything else, and it's your ability to make decisions, or more particularly your ability to make faster, better informed decisions without the angst, or what I came to call decisionship. And essentially it's decisionship that enables us to train entrepreneurs in the Branson Centre for Entrepreneurship. It enables us to train kidpreneurs in entrepreneurship, and it now enables us to train Australian and global entrepreneurs in this really crucial skill, which is all about making decisions by using your insight, your foresight and your hindsight. So that's what most of my programs start to help entrepreneurs bring to bear in their business. I guess the number one reason why businesses fail from my point of view, in observing probably thousands of entrepreneurs that have been through my programs and I've had something to do with over the last quite a few years, I guess, is naivety around what is going to make their business successful. A lot of them think it's, I need to raise lots of money or I need to achieve lots of clients. But ultimately, I think it's all about your business model. If you can get the right sort of business model, you don't want to scale up your business model too early, your business, until you've really cracked your business model. So I think it's an inability to concentrate on the experimentation side of business to get your business model right before you start to grow. Too many entrepreneurs, I think, plan their business to death and then roll it out only to realise that the original plan doesn't work. Or else they go into business without any planning at all and they get caught in a trap and they aren't able to actually innovate out of that. So if they can start to sit back, start to do some more experiments around their business model to finally work out how do we find a product that people want to buy, how do we produce it in a cost-effective and easy way, and how do we make a profit doing that? That's what a good business model is all about, and it's a quantum of difference between a great business model and an average business model. So I would encourage all entrepreneurs to spend a lot more time in that area. In the numbers game, we're going to talk about the 12 numbers that are really key that you start to actually track within your business. And for me, they are the 12 numbers that made all the difference in our business. But one of those numbers that I think that everyone should be starting to flesh out, whether they come to the numbers game or not, it's a thing I call the magic metric. If you're in the hotel business, everyone talks about percentage of occupancy, or if you're in the funds management business, it's all about funds under management, or if you're a real estate agent, so their magic metric, the one thing that makes a bigger difference to them than anything else is not actually number of sales, it's actually the number of listings that they get. So if you can actually digest what's the one magic metric or biggest variable that has an impact on success than any other in your business, if you can start to actually understand that and then track it and start to play your business like a game. Employees don't want to see pages and pages of financials. They want you to actually turn up and say, how are we doing this month or this week or this year, based on something quite simple. If you're playing soccer, the magic metric, the outcome is actually scoring goals. You don't go in there and say, let's score as many goals as possible. You say, we need to spend as much time in the opposition's half as possible. It might be some team's magic metric. Or it might be, we need to reduce the number of penalties, so we're not going to have any penalties. So getting people to focus on the thing that you really want them to concentrate on makes the difference to get the outcome you want. In that instance, is scoring goals. In the business influence, it probably is making profit or building revenue or whatever it might be. Who drives or inspires me? Well, I guess I'm someone that, whilst I have been quite fortunate over the last 5 years to meet, ex-presidents and, some industry leaders, global leaders, and, some people that are doing some amazing things from a philanthropic point of view, it's probably not, I get less inspired by those people, more inspired by the people that are actually the unsung heroes. It might be the unsung entrepreneur that's just they're not trying to achieve billions of dollars of turnover. They're saying, okay, I really want to actually support my family. Or if it's on the social sense, it's someone that's actually doing amazing things, that they're in action rather than trying to globally change something. So I think that's really what drives me, seeing these people that are actually out there doing stuff rather than people that are talking about it.